What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, we're doing the Nightfall. Yes, it's Iron Banner week. Yes, Iron Banner is dropping ridiculous gear. But we're still going to do the Nightfall. We're still going to do the Nightfall because Nightfalls also are really worthwhile doing. So if you happen to be playing Iron Banner and you get a little bit bored or frustrated with Supremacy, grab two buddies, jump into the Nightfall, and see what type of awesome rewards you can get. Maybe you'll get lucky, maybe you'll get a skeleton key, maybe you'll get an exotic Ingram to drop from your 3 of coins, maybe you'll get that elusive ghost shell that you really need, or some type of sick exotic weapon or armor piece. Whatever it is, Nightfall is still definitely worth doing, and of course, we are going to do it. Now, as you can already tell, it is Sepiks Perfected. Now, chances are, if you've been leveling at all in Destiny, you've done this strike 50, 100 times already. Maybe not that many in real life, but you've done this strike a whole lot. So you probably already know exactly what to do for the strike. But just in case you haven't ever done it, I just want to say that whenever Sepiks pops those elemental shields, you need to destroy it with the Scorch Cannon. The Scorch Captains that come out end up dropping a Scorch Cannon that will take down his shield. They are not there for you to go ahead and kill the ads with. And the only reason why I'm saying that is I was in various random groups before whenever I was leveling up and the strike was new out there and people were killing these Scorch Captains and then using the Scorch Cannons on the enemies as opposed to shooting down Sepiks' shield. So I'm just saying that right now. Chances are by now we've all had enough time in the strike that everybody knows what to do, but you can't ever assume that because chances are there are just as many people that don't know what to do and never picked up the cannon and just let somebody else do it. So if you've never picked up the cannon and thrown it at Sepiks, now you know what to do. And basically what this was a training session for the raid. Yes, this was a training session for the last 2 battles of the raid, where we had to grab a Scorch Cannon and go find the Servitor of the same flavor. Go ahead and destroy it, get the Siva charges, blah blah blah, rinse and repeat. But enough about that, we're talking about the Nightfall now. And the Nightfall this week is going to be an interesting one. It's not extremely difficult by any means, and you can see them actually rocking out the Outbreak Prime. The number one thing that you're going to have to worry about is it being grounded. So you can see right there, I made a bad mistake. In fact, I didn't even truly recognize that grounded was on until the last run when I happened to go ahead and look at the modifiers. So grounded's on, and what that means is you are going to take additional damage when you're in the air. So you can see right there as I was jumping back and jumping in the air to get away and save my health, I was just a sitting duck taking even more damage. If I would have stayed on the ground, just ran away, slid somewhere else, I would have been fine. Grounded's on, just be very careful, especially in this final arena, especially with the Scorch Captains. I would bet that they will one-hit you if they hit you while you're in the air. Now the other thing to worry about is we have match game going on, and what that means is that you want to shoot enemies with a shield with the same element. If you shoot them with an incorrect element, you're going to see resist, and it's going to actually mean resist. You actually might have noticed whenever I was shooting down the Shock Captain at the beginning, I shot him with all 3 of my golden gun shots to take him down. That shouldn't typically be the case, not with the new buff to supers, so it really makes a difference. Though you're only mainly going to see enemies with solar shields whenever you're in this. Whenever we ran all 3 of our Nightfalls, we had Hive every single time. It was pretty much solar shields or nothing until this final battle. Until this final battle where you do get a Scorch Captain of each flavor. But I don't think they will be too difficult where you really have to worry about your equipment set and your weapon set to really worry about having each one of the flavors. I did just fine with my heavy machine gun as being solar and then just going ahead with everything else just as normal. Of course, my sniper rifle is void, but that really doesn't matter because Sepiks doesn't have any shields, and my sniper rifle is there mainly to go ahead and hit Sepiks with my triple tap and just dealing out all the damage I can with those extra bullets. Also, we've got Catapult on. Now, I'll be honest, usually whenever it's Catapult, I make a ton of use of throwing my grenades all the time. For some reason in this Nightfall, I really didn't, but throwing grenades is always a good thing because you're going to get your grenades back extremely quick with Catapult on. So don't be afraid to just throw them out and throw them out and throw them out. You'll get them back, you'll deal out a ton of damage, and chances are you'll feel better about yourself, at least better than I do as I'm sitting back here and reflecting on my 3 Nightfall runs. Finally, we also have Juggler on. So Juggler, one of those modifiers that really sucks. I don't know if Juggler or Trickle is worse. Actually, in the Taken King, I would say that Trickle was definitely worse. Juggler was pretty bad in year 1, but Trickle, yeah, Trickle might take the cake. But Juggler's a really, really awful one. And I didn't even realize that Juggler was on until we were on Sepiks on our very first run. And I got into this battle and I was like, why do I have no primary ammo? So try to make sure that you're killing some things with your special weapon up, with your heavy weapon, just so that you can make sure that you get enough ammo. Also, if you do happen to see any green special ammo boxes out there, like the one that I just picked up to get some special ammo, you'll also get primary ammo from it. So if you see those and you're running low on primary ammo, just go ahead and pop those, you'll get some primary, and you will get special ammo from them. So that's at least a good thing, at least that's as good as it can be. Now that room that I was just in, that room that I was in whenever I was last Guardian standing, that's about your safe area. That zone is pretty much my safe zone. Whenever I'm running into any trouble throughout this video, I run over into this room on the left hand side. Now back in the day, back in year 1, good old year 1 Sepiks, whenever we could have armor piercing sniper rifles that would wallbang through the room up top, through those windows up top, you could jump in there and this strike was just a cakewalk, you never had to worry about it. But this room has always been a decent safe room. The only time it gets really bad is if Sepiks happens to teleport right on top of you, right in front of that room. Then it can be a little bit hectic because he could throw out some blasts, and of course there are these enemies out there that could shoot at you. But overall, I would say this is one of my safer places, so anytime some of my Guardian friends end up going down, I would kind of back off into that room, or if my health gets low, that's pretty much where I back off, let myself catch my breath, regen some health a little bit, and then go back out into the fight. Now as far as the Outbreak Prime, is it really the best thing to go ahead and use in this strike? Well, I had some high hopes that I would face Fallen the entire time. Unfortunately, like I said, all 3 of our runs ended up being Hive, so I didn't get to make as much use of it as I would want to, at least not as much effective use, but it is always going to be effective in Sepiks because it's going to be Fallen everywhere, and I just really wanted to use it. But I mean, of course, Gjallarhorn is always going to be a good answer here. Gjallarhorn, definitely, because there are ads and there are enemies, but my machine gun did just fine in cleaning up Sepiks right there. And that is it. I did not get any 3 of coin exotic Ingrams at all to drop in any of my 3 runs. I believe Devil or Pooj at least got 1 each. And where I'm shooting right now, just in case you don't know, there is a Siva cluster right about there. Right about there. There are actually a number of Siva clusters in this strike. There's 1 here, there's 2 in the room where you could fight the Walker. There's 1 in that beginning area after you're going through the first initial tunnel. There's 1 as you're just running to the initial bridge type area, right to the left where you're in a patrol zone. Yeah, there are a lot of Siva clusters in this strike. If you don't have them, go ahead and look those up because you'll be able to get, what is it, 4 or 5 of them in this strike. Anyway, we're not here for Siva clusters, we're here for Nightfall gear. And from our run number 1, we'll look at Devil with his exotic. Look at Devil with the Astrocyte verse, getting them exotics. And I got an emo package and 3 of coins, and Pooj ended up getting some 372 Titan gauntlets. Of course, we're going to open up this emo package and see exactly what we get. And what is our verdict of this emote, guys? Well, there you go. Hunter says, thumbs down. Alright, thumbs down for our first Nightfall rewards. What about run number 2? What about run number 2 on our Titan? Let's see if we get anything better than some 3 of coins and an emote. As far as run number 2 goes, okay, we've got some weapons. And Devil got a 386 weapon, I got a 388 scout rifle. And from what I hear, this scout rifle has the same rate of fire as the Mida. If that is true, I didn't get a terrible roll on it, because I did get some extra stability too, so that might be pretty nice. I didn't delete it just yet. And finally, for our Warlock, the last run, it is Exotic City. Yet again, Devil gets another exotic 388 chest piece. I got a 388 helmet. Yes, and Pooj got himself some 355 helmet, but you can see his light. His light is only 351 when he went through the Nightfall. So those were our rewards this week. Again, I got gear that was over 385. Definitely worthwhile to do that Nightfall. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Nightfall, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Cracking that 385. Thumbs down.